everybody. You're watching Jennifer Turning the Page, and I'm Jennifer, and I'm so happy that you were able to join me for today's video. So I posted a video yesterday. It was a pretty lengthy video where I was telling you about what's been going on with me as far as the GLP1 that I have been taking, and I was sharing, how the side effects that I had been experiencing had subsided, and how that was a really good thing. And so today I just want to kind of share with you a little bit some other things that I have been doing um, with the intention of trying to help improve my overall, health and well-being. And so one of those things is that I have been taking a hormone replacement. I don't know why I keep referring to it that way. I don't like it. Hormone therapy. Okay. Menopause hormone therapy. And so I'm putting on my glasses here so I can see and pronounce these names. I'm taking two different medications. One is medroxyprogesterone, 2.5 milligrams, which I just take once a day. And the other one is estradiol, just zero point 0.5 milligrams, which I also take once a day. And I've been doing that. I'm getting ready to have my last of 3 refills. I'm going to have these refilled tomorrow. And so that means I've been doing it for 2 months now. Now, I've been on the Wegovy for longer than I've been on the hormone replacement. And so I'm not completely sure what exactly is creating some of these things that I'm experiencing, if I should attribute it to the Wegovy or if I should attribute it to the hormone therapy. But I can tell you a few other things that I've noticed aside from, any weight loss. I've had about I'm sort of on a plateau right now as far as weight loss goes. I am somewhere between 8 pounds and 10 pounds down. One morning I'll weigh and I'll be at an 8 pound or so loss, and then the next morning it's 9 something. The next morning I might be back at the 8, or I might be down to 10. So I'm fluctuating between 8 and 10 pounds of weight loss, which I consider that to be normal, a normal fluctuation from day to day, and kind of a plateau. I'm kind of tapped out for right now. Um, but aside from that, what I'm also noticing is like I've noticed like an improvement in like brain fog. Okay, so I had been noticing for quite a while that brain fog is something that is difficult to describe, but it's almost like you're walking around feeling just how your brain feels when you're really tired. It makes it difficult for you to hold on to like multiple threads of thought, um, and keep them like cohesively together in your head. um, might make it harder to converse with more than one person at a time, because it's harder to follow all the different um, threads of the conversation. Um, just little things like that. It's not the sort of thing where some outside observer would notice like any kind of a cognitive decline or anything like that, but you yourself sort of notice that these things that have always kind of been normal to you, that you've been capable of doing, are kind of sliding away from you a little bit. And I have noticed a definite improvement in that. Um, and it's kind of funny how you're noticing isn't as gradual as I'm sure the change itself is. You don't notice what's happening when it's gradually happening, but there will be an instant in which you're like, oh, hey, this has gotten better. I didn't realize it, but it has gotten better. And I had that moment a few weeks ago. It's probably been a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, something like that. It was before school was out, and I was getting ready for work, and I was standing in front of the sink and mirror, and I was doing, the things that you do to get ready. And I was going over in my mind the things that I knew I needed to do for that day. And it was just like, oh, hey, That hasn't been as easy to do here lately as I'm noticing it is now. And so it's kind of like that epiphany. Hang on a second. I've got somebody knocking to get in my door. So let me let her in. Come on, baby. Come on. It's Mama's girl coming in. My little Georgia. She's my little mini pin. Do you want me to cover you up with my sweater? I think that she wants me to cover her up with my sweater. Oh, wrong direction. Let me turn this around here. You can see her looking at me. Do you want me to cover you up with my sweater? Huh? Do you want me to? Do you want me to cover you up with my sweater? Let me cover her up real quick. Here we go. Here you go. You like to have a sweater on you, don't you? There you go. Oh, yeah. She's funny, but that's what she likes. She likes to be covered up with my sweater. So there she is, all covered up. All right. So sorry for that interruption. Hopefully there won't be any more or too many more. Um, but that's definitely that reduction in brain fog. That sense of clarity is definitely something that I've noticed. And then I have also noticed that I haven't had a single hot flash, or what I prefer to call a hot bloom, since I started the hormone therapy, and that's probably like the best thing ever. Um, for like about the past 2 years, I've been dealing with um, pretty pretty regular, um, almost like it was on a cycle of some sort, where sometimes in the mornings, but almost every evening, sometime before bedtime, just there would be, I would start to feel heat here in my chest, in the center, kind of like in the center of my torso, that would move up my neck and up into my face and head. And it would just feel like somebody had lit a match here, and it had just spread and bloomed all the way up. And my face would feel so hot, um, like you're standing way too close to a fire, and you're just being singed. You're just feeling that heat off of it. Except instead of it being something that started externally, it was like it started internally and spreads out. And I mean, I have, in the dead of winter, when it was only a few degrees outside, gone outside in like a tank top and shorts, because I could not get cooled off. And I like to call them hot blooms rather than hot flashes, because a flash sounds like it's just over with real quick. Like it just comes and it goes. And maybe if that's what was happening, I could have dealt with it and made it manageable. But this is something that would take 10, 20, 30 minutes to dissipate. And 10 minutes might not sound like all that long, but when you're that uncomfortable, and it's not painful, it's just extremely uncomfortable. When you're that uncomfortable, um, that feels like an eternity. And 30 minutes feels like hours. Okay. So, now I have to say, I've been really fortunate to this point where I have not been one of those ladies who have had to deal with being like the night sweats, where you get really hot while you're trying to sleep and you sweat until like clothes are wet, your bed's wet, everything's wet. I've been very fortunate to not have to deal with anything like that. Um, but I haven't had a hot bloom or hot flash, if that's what you prefer, um, since I started the hormone therapy. And so that's an exciting thing. That's wonderful. Um, Something that I have also noticed, speaking about, just health and improving your sense of well-being, I know that one of the things that's really important is sleep. And I've noticed for several years as a teacher that, let's say going back maybe 3, 4, 5 years, um, The only time I sleep well anymore is whenever I'm on a break. And it's almost like something has shifted in my internal rhythm. And it's really difficult for me to go to sleep by the time I need to be asleep at night in order to get up when I need to get up in the mornings to go to work. And I mean, I don't ever run late or anything like that. I'm always at work early, earlier than I have to be there. But in doing so, I never get a real full night's sleep, or very rarely get a real full night's sleep. For me, if I can get a good 5 hours in, I'm doing pretty decent. And I know that's not nearly enough sleep when you think about it over the long term. And then summer break comes, and it's okay that I don't care that I'm not going to sleep when I need to go to sleep. I'm not fighting to go to sleep if I stay up a couple hours longer than what I need to when the school year is going on. I've got that couple of extra hours I can sleep in the next morning, and it makes up for it. And so I am actually getting to sleep. And I don't know how to fix that. That's the one thing that I'm really stuck with. I do not know how to fix it. I've tried taking sleeping medicine, and now sleeping medicine does help. Um, but I'm always fearful of oversleeping, and I'm always fearful of running late. And so I'll take sleeping medicine a few times, but then I start to get this anxiety that the sleeping medicine that I take at night is going to make me too sleepy in the morning to want to get up out of the bed and get going, and I'm going to wind up running behind or being late, and like I'll have bad dreams about that. That is something that makes me very anxious. I'm terrified of that. I feel so responsible to be there when I'm supposed to be there, be on time, be reliable, that doing anything that could endanger that, or jeopardize that makes me very, very anxious. So I don't like to take sleeping medicine because of that fear that I have. At one point, I was trying like a little tiny glass of like of wine, because that kind of makes me sleepy. And so I was like, well, I'll just have a little tiny glass, like that much, like just enough to make me sleep. But then I read that that's really not a good idea, a bad thing to do. That it doesn't it while it helps you to go to sleep, it doesn't guarantee that you'll stay asleep, and it doesn't provide you with the right kind of sleep. And well, okay, I'm gonna quit doing that. So I don't know. I don't know what the solution to that is. Um, I guess it's just a battle I'll have to keep battling, and be thankful for the sleep that I get during this time of the year when I'm on break, and um, I can just follow my natural rhythm and sleep when I want to sleep. Um, but I will tell you that the the improvement in the way I feel when I can get a good night's sleep, it's magnificent. And I would love to be able to experience that year round. So that's, I guess, why I mention it, because it's something that I understand the importance of it. I just don't know how to fix the problem. So that's one of those things that I'm still working on. But anyway, that kind of brings everything up to date. Um, I can't think of anything else right now that I need to share, um, or want to share necessarily. I know I talked about the fact that I plan to try to get to some writing this summer. Whenever I posted yesterday, and I will tell you that I haven't written any since yesterday. Okay. Um, in the past, when I would have time off from school in the summer, I usually have some sort of a big, huge project that I plan to do. Whether it's I've done all sorts of things, refinished my floors, painted, completely redecorated a room, built something outside. I mean, it's every single summer. We usually have some big project, and that takes all of the time. It takes the whole summer, and it takes us working as hard as we can work to get it done. We didn't plan anything like that for this summer. I don't know if we're just getting too old for it, or if we've done most of the things we want to do, or what. But I know that it did cross my mind that I'm like, it's odd that we don't have anything like that planned, but I'm also grateful that we don't, because I don't want to I don't want to have one. I don't want to have some big project this year. I want to just be able to enjoy the time off and maybe get some other things done that I want to get done other than just work, 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 because that's usually what we do. So, um, I've already done the one project that I wanted to get done. Um, I did that last week, which was our first full week off of school, and that was cleaning out closets and doing some reorganizing and getting rid of some stuff. And I've got that all done. Next week, I'm taking my kids on vacation. I think I mentioned that in yesterday's video. And that is something that's really important to me to do each summer, is to take my kids somewhere for a vacation of some sort. Um, and that mainly stems from not having that any of that as a child myself. Both my husband and I both come from fairly impoverished backgrounds. My husband actually a little bit more so than I. But when I was growing up, there was never the money to go on any type of a vacation. I can remember one or two little like overnight trips or day trips that we took to some local places, but not any like what I would term to be like a real vacation. And so, um, with the exception of the COVID years, which I know nobody, I think, was really doing a lot of vacationing, especially if you have little kids during the COVID years. But I've taken my kids all around, anywhere that I can drive. So they've been to Hunting Island, North Carolina. They have been to Louisiana, and they've crossed the Great Big Bridge down there, and we've been to a couple of the state parks there. They've seen alligators. We've taken them to um, Gulf Shores. They've been to Washington D.C. They have visited um, Thomas Jefferson's Monticello. They have visited George Washington's Mount Vernon. I've taken them to Virginia Beach. They've been out west. They've seen Mount Rushmore and the Devil's Tower and the Badlands. So I've taken them all sorts of places. And so it's just important to me that each summer I plan some kind of a trip for us. And so next week, just me and the kids. My husband stays home because he takes care of all the animals. He doesn't trust them to be left to anybody else. So even though I would love it if he would go, he won't go. um, but anyway, he'll stay home and he'll take care of everybody, all the four-legged family members, and the kids and I are going to be going on vacation. And I will wait until we get back, and I'll tell you where we went and some of the fun things that we did once the vacation is over. But we're looking forward to that. Once I get through that, I don't know what she's growling at. You're interrupting. What do you need? Well, then I'll be done soon. Go on. My daughter, who doesn't want to be on camera but wants to interrupt anyway. Um, sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. But anyway, I will tell you about that when we get back. My plan was get that one little job done, get the vacation done, And then I want to start a morning routine where my husband and I, we can get up before the heat of the day, maybe take the dogs for a nice walk. And then when we get back to the house, if there are any little projects we need to do, maybe get those out of the way. And then I want to carve out a piece of every day, either right after our walk or in the early afternoon, to sit down and spend a few hours on my writing. And so when I get to that point, I'll start sharing with you, what I've done, how far I've made it, what I've accomplished. And then I also hope that maybe I can figure out how to set up a web page where I can start sharing some excerpts of my writing, and just try just to get some opinions, just to see, if I can get any traffic at all. And I because to I would love for that to be what I do with my retirement. I would love to write in my retirement. Writing has been a lifelong dream of mine, but like so many other people who have those kind of dreams, you know, you get busy with things. You get busy with your own education, and you get busy with a career that you know is going to provide. Because, like I told you, when you come from a background of people who are somewhat impoverished, or really truly impoverished, it's really drilled into you that what you do has to be something that's going to reliably pay your bills. Writing, especially when I was a young person starting out, was so hard to get into. I think it might actually be a little easier now, because there's so many outlets for your craft that you know that you can explore, that you might have a little more opportunity to be noticed, recognized, to get a start nowadays, that was not available to my generation when we were young. And so it's just one of those things that gets easily laid to the side, and you think, well, maybe I'll get to it someday. And I really don't want to kick off this planet without having at least attempted it, at least tried. So that is my next thing that I want to attempt. One of the other changes that's coming into my journey. So I'm getting ready to close up for now. I've got something that I think is going to be kind of interesting that I want to share with you. I don't know if I'll do this every time. I want to see how it goes. I got because part of the goal of this channel is to be inspirational. It's to inspire. It's to it's to tell the truth. It is to show the good, the bad, and the ugly of this journey that we call life, and these changes that we experience when we get, into middle age, and um, and to inspire, to show that, even when things don't go the way you had hoped, it's always an opportunity to learn and to improve. And so I got these little cards. I got this set right here. It's called Buddha Wisdom. And I got another set, and it came in a box like this. It's called The Threads of Karma. Now, these are just cheap, and for entertainment purposes. Okay, that's all. This is for entertainment purposes. But they have some really great little expressions on them, little sayings on each card, that I think could be very inspirational and provide someone out there with something to think about for the day. And I know that when I very first opened this deck, the very first card in the deck really spoke to me. And so I'm going to share it with you, and then I'm going to shuffle the deck, and I'm going to pull out a card that's going to be for you. Okay, it'll be your card. And so the card that was for me says, be selective in your battles. Sometimes peace is better than being right. And I love that, because that is true. You have to pick your battles. And it really is one of those things where sometimes being right is not as important as just having peace with someone. And when you think about the atmosphere that we're existing in our country today, it feels like everyone has this sense that they're entitled to being right all the time. And no one wants to just live and let live and be at peace. That's how it feels sometimes. I know that's not really how it is. There's a lot of peace loving people out there who just want to live and let live. But their voices aren't the ones that get magnified. And so pick your battles and remember that there are times when peace is preferred to what's right, or being, not what's right, but being right, proving yourself right. Just live and let live is the way I interpret that. Okay, so now let's see what your card is. So we're going to, oh, let's see if I can shuffle them or not. Let's shuffle the deck. They're still really stiff because it's a new deck. Do another one here. Oh yeah, that one went better. All right. So, all right, let's see here. Give them another little toss around here. Okay, so now I'm going to let you pick a card. Let's see. So here's our cards. And, oh, how can I do this so it doesn't look like I'm looking at it? Let me see. Let me do it like this. Okay. So, let's see. This is going to be your card right here. So, drawing at random. Maturity is learning to walk away from people and situations that threaten your peace of mind, self-respect, values, morals, and self-worth. Wow. That kind of goes along with the card that I pulled out. I know that is not focusing on that very well at all. There we go. That's kind of focused. So, knowing when to walk away. That kind of goes right along with what we were just talking about, with choosing peace over choosing, proving yourself right. Um, Learn how to walk away from people and situations that threaten your peace of mind, self respect, values, morals, and self worth. So, hopefully, that resonates with someone out there, and you will find that inspirational, and that'll help you get through your day or your week or your month, um, or whatever. So, all right. Well, that's us turning the page, and I appreciate you being here. If anything here at all was useful to you or entertaining to you in any way, if you would please hit that like button, go ahead and share and subscribe. It would be really, really appreciated. And hopefully the next time I'm here, you'll be here too, when we will once again turn the page. Thanks, everybody.